YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today another paranormal video. Yay! So on Saturday I posted one. If you haven't seen it, that's okay, you can still go look at it. And yeah, I'm sorry, I mind blanked. So like I said in that video, before I get started with the story today, I'm not trying to make you believe in the paranormal. My dad just sneezed and he scared me. I'm not trying to make you believe in the paranormal. I am just telling stories that have happened to me personally and to my family members. And in these videos, I probably will be looking away, like looking around, because talking about it just sets me off. And yeah, I'm just trying to remember every single detail that I have been told and all that good jazz. Okay, so this week we have stories about my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa. So to begin with, here's the house. So if you're looking at the house from the front door, so you walk in, you turn left, you go down the hallway. On the first left is my dad's room, then a bathroom, then my grandparents' room. And then if you go back to the front door, then you'll have the what's it called, living room, and then attached to the living room was the kitchen, and then attached to the kitchen was the laundry room, because that's kind of crucial to these stories that I'm about to tell you about. So the first one is about my dad whenever he was younger. I'm not saying he's old. Okay, yes I am. But they were living in Pea Ridge, Arkansas at the time, and they moved into this house, and with this house came an old lady ghost, which, let me tell you about her real quick. So she was a blind old lady. She lived by herself. Her husband had died, and she had a rocking chair with her, and she memorized the house, obviously, because she was blind, and she had nobody there to help her. So everywhere that this old lady went, she brought this rocking chair, and she would drag it across the ground, and you know, like nails on a chalkboard, that's kind of what it sounds like. So with that, my grandmother was actually getting up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water, and she went into the kitchen and she heard her rocking chair start to rock back and forth. And she went into the living room, and Lord and behold, the stupid rocking chair was going back and forth all by itself. So she thought, it's probably, I'm just dreaming, that's okay. And she went back into the kitchen to finish getting a drink, and she heard the nails on a chalkboard across the floor. And she walked back in, and the freaking rocking chair was going across the floor all by itself, being dragged towards her room. And once she said something, it completely stopped, and it started going back and forth really, really fast. So that was really their first experience in this house. And then my dad, he had an experience, and a lot of these are going to be about my grandma, because she just blew up in this house. So with my dad, real quick, he was in his room, and he was, like I said, really young, and he was laying in bed and could not go to sleep. And so he was staring at the door, and this old lady came, stopped in front of his door, turned, looked in, turned back, and walked down the hallway towards my grandparents' room. And obviously, it was a spirit. My dad got up to check, and she was gone. And so that really freaked him out. He did not like the house after that. And then a few months later, my grandmother, she was in bed, and my dad was in bed, and my grandfather, he had already went off to work because he had to get up really, really early in the morning to go and to catch the train to go to work. And my grandmother had an entire bucket of water poured on top of her, and the bucket fell on top of her, and it woke her up. And she went and dried off, changed her clothes. She came back in, and the bed was completely dry. No water was on that bed. And she was so freaked out, and she was like, okay, I'm drawing the line. There was still more stuff that had happened in the house, but she won't talk about it because it freaks her out too bad. And so she was like, I'm done, we're getting out of this house. And so moving day came. My dad was, I think he was a teenager by this time. I'm not really sure how old my dad was. But moving day came. They had gotten everything out of the house, but there was one box left. And so my grandmother, she went inside to fetch it. And the door slammed behind her, and she could not get out. Like, the windows were basically, it felt like bolted down. The door was bolted. Like, there was no way for her to get out. And so she calls my grandpa that's right outside the door, and she's like, guys, you have to get me out of here. The spirit's not letting me go, because it was obsessed with my grandmother. And so they're like beating down the door, and finally my grandfather kicks in the door, gets my grandmother. They didn't even get the box that they had left. I think it was like clothes or something. They left the box in the house, went and left. It's crazy to think that actually happened to my grandmother. Like, because I had heard stories and stuff about that happening to other people, but whenever it hits home like that, it's like, but they think what happened was there was this old tree that was in the front yard, and I think somebody cut it down. It wasn't my grandparents, but somebody had cut it down, and my grandmother and grandfather believed that a portal was opened through that tree, and all the evil was going into the house. And I mean, it was so bad that the people that owned it knocked it down. Like, nobody would live in this house after my grandparents. And I'm like, and the land's still there, obviously, and I think right now there is a trailer on there at this moment. And my grandparents, they will not set foot near the house. Like, we drove past where it was at, and they got such a bad feeling that they sped past it. Like, it was so bad. They don't like talking about that house because it's so, like, so many things, bad things happened in the house that some of the stuff they won't even tell me because of what happened. So, like I said at the very beginning, these are my stories and my personal and my parents' and grandparents' personal experiences. So, if you believe it, woohoo, let's go. But if not, it's okay. I mean, I've believed in ghosts all my life because I've had problems with them since I was younger, which in my other video I gave one example of that time, which later on in the week I'll probably give you guys some more. And I thought I might as well share these experiences because they're still happening to me now. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video this middle of the week, because I'll probably post again soon. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you didn't like. If you guys love these videos, fantastic. If not, then tell me what you want me to do. I can tell. I mean, I have tons of stories about my life. That's not a problem. But just, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, because it is 5:15 right now. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.